What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of my devlog. This one I'll try to make quick. It's just a continuation of the houses and all of the furniture and everything I set up, along with the open and close mechanic. So let's get into it. Alright, so if we go in this house, into the kitchen, got a refrigerator. Right now it's playing the same sound as the open and closed door. So I just have to add into the code a couple lines that call for a specific tag, add that to the refrigerator, and then have it play a different type of noise. Same thing with those. And let's check out another house. Try one of the bedrooms, actually. Let's go. So I have, we'll try these. Open and close. I think I have the bed too, yeah. Alright, so let's jump into the code. No need to go through every single room and every single house. It's all relatively the same. So right off the bat, if you remember from last episode, the open closed door script that's added to the doors, it's the same, like I said, just added to the anything with a drawer that or a cabinet door that swings open. And you see down here, find object of type, door open, and then door close, hence why it's playing the same noise as the doors. So like I said, at some point I'm going to go in and add a little bit extra here, calling for specific tags so I could have different sounds played. Alright, so if we jump into this script, I have another script called open close object, and this is the script that all of the drawers and sliding components are going to use. So with this one, instead of a rotation upon interacting with it, we're going to use the Lerp function. You see down here. Alright, so I'll just briefly go through this script. It's pretty much the same as any other script that's using the Lerp method. I know I have, or Lerp function. I know I have the weapon recoil script that I went over, where when you pull the trigger, it lerps back and then basically does the opposite and lerps back to the original position. So it's pretty much the same here. Only it lerps open when you press the E key, and then there's a bool called object open that gets set to true. And then if you hit the E key again with that object open bool set to true, it's going to close, and then lerp back to the original position, so it's closed, and then the object open bool gets set back to false. Alright, so we have here a public float called item interact range that just is going to determine the distance upon which we can interact with the object, same as all the other scripts that use some type of item interaction. And then we have the player, and now I have three floats, one for the X variable, the Y, and then the Z. This is just so that when we determine the open distance or open position, in the event that the object is using the X coordinate, Y, or Z. I want to be able to set all three variables. So if you scroll down, and then we have two floats, speed and then speed 2. This is for the first lerp function. If you remember from the last time I went over the lerp function, you need a speed variable to determine how quickly that movement from point A to B is going to take. So in a way, consider this duration, not necessarily speed. And then the reason why I set it up with two different speeds is so that I can, if I really want to, I can change. Like in this example, I think I have them both set to the same number. But I don't know, let's say you want the, for dramatic effect, you want the drawer to open slower than it gets closed. You would want to use two different variables, one for each lerp function. And then there's that bool, and then we have two floats for the elapsed time. Okay, and now if we scroll down, so as I mentioned, this is pretty much the same as the weapon recoil script. However, there is a little bit of a difference. So with the weapon recoil script, it was easy to type it up because it's automatic. I think I set it where once the new position is reached, so like the gun recoiling back, call a method that lerps it back forward. So it's just automatic every time you shoot. With this, it's a little bit different. So the lerp function is supposed to take place over X amount of seconds, right? When you set it up and you try to use the lerp function, when you perform an action like just simply pressing a key, like it is in this case, we're not holding it down. It's just get key down. So just when you press it, or the frame that you press it, it's not going to work correctly. It's going to move a little bit and like not move the full move to the full position. So the way I set it up so that it does work correctly, I have down here a method on mouse over, so we definitely need that, right, when we are looking at the object. And then same thing as again all the other item interaction scripts. We have the vector 3 distance to player equals player dot position minus transform dot position. And then here are the if statements that are going to determine whether the drawer is opened or closed. So as I said a minute ago, initially the object open bool is closed, right? Because everything is closed, nothing's been touched yet. So if that bool is false and distance to player dot magnitude is less than or equal to item interact range and input dot get key down, in this case key code E, we set the bool to true. And then this is where I play a specific noise based on the tag. So I have here if transform.tag equals drawer, which for now I just made all of the sliding components with that tag. Find object of type audio manager dot play drawer open. This is exactly what I was saying I need to do for the rotating components. Now, to make the lerp function work correctly, we don't put it here because again, if it was here, it would just move a little bit and not work correctly. We want to put it in the update method. So if you take a look here, you see we have this if statement that reads if object open, so if that bool is true, and transform.local position. So this is the position of the object relative to its parent, and it does not equal open position. We're going to lerp to the open position. And then you see here right above it, we have the open position defined as the original position plus new vector 3. And then this is where we pass in those the x, y, and z coordinates. All right, so does not equal open position. Then we lerp. So we have here lapse time 1 plus equals time dot delta time. And then similar to the weapon recoil, since we're going to be using a lapse time 2, we just have to make sure that this is set to 0, and then vice versa for the closing of the object. So float percentage complete equals elapsed time 1 divided by that speed variable. Transform.local position equals vector 3.lerp. So we have the original position, open position, which again is defined right here, and then percentage complete, and then we set the object open to true. We actually, let me probably just delete that actually. And then something like that one. Okay, and then now it's gonna be pretty much the same thing for closing. So now this bool is set to true. If we hit the E key while we're looking at it again, we set the object open to false, and you see here, if object open is false and transform.local position does not equal the original position, and because remember it won't, because it's open, it's in the open position, then we're going to lerp back to the original position. So you see down here we have transform.local position equals vector 3.lerp, current position, original position, and then percentage complete. And I realize I actually have to change this back to open position. Okay. Jeez. Sorry about that. Sometimes takes a minute. Would love to know in the comments if any of you have this, same issue, I guess, where for whatever reason you change 2 lines of code, it'll, take a minute to. All right, there we go. No drawers in there. Let's see. Yep. And that actually fixes that like bouncy issue. When it was closing before, I don't know if you noticed, it was going past the original position and then kind of like snapping to it. So this is perfect. Yep. Oh, okay. Probably have a too high of a number there, and it's just shooting all the way out over here, but we'll fix that. That's good. Perfect. Yep. Alright. And that is pretty much it for this episode. I know the next step is to go into the actual furniture and all of the spots that can hold items and start placing spawn points there. Definitely going to be a pretty tedious task. I know, setting all of the furniture and all of the movement was tedious as well. It wasn't anything necessarily difficult. It just took a long time to like actually go through all of the furniture and set it up. So I'm probably gonna take a break from that and work on the combat. There's a lot of things that I'm looking to do uh, with the recoil system and aiming system and whatnot. Um, so next episode will most likely be that, and then after that I'll probably go back to the the furniture and add all the spawn points, because obviously it is important and it's definitely a significant piece of the game. um, and now that I think about it, the one thing that I did want to mention, for anyone that is setting up a system like this where you want to have like each individual piece be able to open, you just want to make sure, go to my guy here, find some furniture. So I have here this dresser, right? And as you saw, each like individual drawer opens. You just want to make sure these are all the drawers. They're not named. They're just cylinder. You just want to make sure that you add the script to each individual piece. And if you, so like I made this in Blender myself. So if you are making your own assets, you want to be wary of that as well. You don't want to make something like this and then join it together and have all of the pieces be one object. You won't be able to do this. You see here I have the main parent is the overall dresser, and then the first underneath that is the overall like outline of the dresser, and then all of these are individual objects just parented to the dresser. So just be mindful of that. You see here each individual one, I have the open close object script, which is as why you can see how it does become a tedious task. If you have 50 of these and you got to do it to each one, yeah, it just takes time. But you like anything with game dev, it takes time. You just got to sit there and do it. And the benefit of doing it the right way, setting up how you want, definitely pays you back. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention, I guess similar kind of conversation, I forgot to mention it last episode, pertains to the houses. So that's another thing. I don't know if you remember, I mentioned in I think last episode, yeah, or maybe the episode before, how I messed up the houses and had to scrap them and basically just remake them. One of the things I did was I made each floor and then made the roofing, and I joined it all together, not anticipating the need to be able to open up the house down the line to add stuff inside. So I'll just show you quickly the hierarchy of this house. It's same thing as the dresser. You have the main parent here, the house. That's the whole thing. Oop. See, the whole thing moves. Now inside here we have all of the windows, doors, walls are individual objects, and then they're all just parented to each other accordingly. So I think, let me try to grab yep. So I have the floor here, and everything on the second floor is parented to this floor. So if I grab just the floor, I can move the second part of the house. You see I have in here opened up. And then same thing with the roof, it's parented to this. But if I want to move just the roof to get to the second floor, you see all of the roofing is parented to this flat piece. And then here we have inside the house. So that's just another thing I wanted to mention. Anyone that is getting into modeling, because I know I'm somewhat of a beginner with modeling as well. My programming skills are definitely, not that I think I'm an expert in programming, but my skills are definitely a lot better on the coding side. as opposed to, you know, Blender and modeling in general. So just be mindful of the things that you make, and always make something with the thought of, you know, what's the easiest way to set this up that I can get inside it if you need to. You know, obviously, you're not going to need to open up like a human character, really. But, you know, something like a house, definitely. So, yeah, just wanted to mention those quick little tips. Hope that helped anyone that watched this. And as always, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more.